So welcome everybody, and we just come to Ua Kepri. So we take a horizontal position on our mat, have our feet about 2 feet or 2 foot apart, and have the arms about a foot away from the side of the body, with palms facing up. And just giving the body time to recognize that it is supported by the earth, and all those muscles have kept us upright and working against gravity all day, whether we were sitting or whether we were standing, can actually soften and relax a little. To just give ourselves a moment for the body to acknowledge that. And your breathing gesture at the moment can be just natural, however that might be. And then we'll move towards 9 purification breaths. So for a purification breath, we're going to inhale through the nose, slowly, deeply as possible. We pause at the end of the inhalation, we open the mouth, and we gently release the air out. We pause at the end of the exhalation, close the mouth, we inhale through the nose, pause, open the mouth and release. Pause, close the mouth, inhale through the nose. Pause, open the mouth, exhale again. And continue for 6 more rounds. And as you do that, we're just, as I say, these are considered a purification breath in Sami Tawi. You'll find this also in Qigong and other pranayama in classical yoga. So the inhalation is a gentle sympathetic activation. The exhalation is a parasympathetic activation. So we're just bringing a little bit of harmony and balance to the nervous system. We want a responsive, balanced nervous system of both sympathetic and parasympathetic. A nervous system that's able to respond, but also come back down into a more ventral vagal state. So this purification breath helps to encourage that balance and harmony, responsiveness. And then once you've completed 9 rounds of the purification breath, then gently keeping the lips closed, we continue with a gentle inhalation in through the nose, exhalation out through the nose. Again, pausing at the top of the inhalation just for a moment. Pause in at the bottom of the exhalation just for a moment before beginning a new inhalation. So these are kind of 4 parts to the breath. Inhale, a momentary pause, and exhale, a momentary pause. You may be aware of the abdomen gently rising and slowly, softly softening back down. But just bring your awareness down into the soles of the feet, the toes. And as you continue with the 4-part breath, in through the nose, pause, out through the nose, pause. Just allow the feet, the toes to relax and to soften. Allow the ankles to soften and relax. The lower legs, the shins and the calves. Just allow to soften and relax. Just moving the awareness through the body, the knees, the upper legs, the buttocks, the pelvic girdle, the low back, the middle back, the upper back and the shoulder blades. The fingers and the palms of the hands, the wrists, the lower arms and the elbows, the upper arms, the shoulders. Soften and relax the nape of the neck, the back of the skull, the crown, relaxing the brow. Soften the eyelids behind the eyes. Soften the cheekbones, the jaw hinge. Soften the tongue, the throat. Relax the chest. And then soften the belly. Let the breath be subtle, but still with 4 points: inhalation, pause, exhalation, pause. Get an overall sense of dynamic stillness. Slide in 1 foot along the mat so that the foot then comes up and is placed down on the mat. The knee now pointing up in the air, and then slide the other foot, turn so the foot's on the mat, knees pointing up in the air. Bring in, turning the hands so the palms are facing down. Slightly lift the buttocks and put the hands just underneath. Lift the head and then straighten in one leg up, straighten in the other leg up. Enough to be right up, head lifted, and then use the fulcrum of allowing the legs to drop down straight to pull you up, bringing you into a seated position with the legs out straight in front of you. And then just folding the legs just across for a moment. Coming back into the body. This is one of different seated postures. We tend to call them sesh pose. 1, 2, and or 3. And just to properly open our practice, we're going to repeat Onk, which very much means life force. Life itself. I want you to have a felt sense as we begin this hekau. So hekau means word of power, so it's like mantra in classical yoga. So as we begin to repeat it, and we'll repeat it 3 times, we want to feel the ah start in the belly, come into the chest. Before we get to the k, which we want to have a sense of pushing up and out through the crown of the head. We'll feel the resonance move from the belly to the chest to the face and then out through the crown. So breathing in. Last bits of k. As we push it up and out through the crown, breathing in. And one more, breathing in. Just be with the resonance for a moment. So just as in classical yoga, also in Sami Tawi, sound, vibration, resonance, hekau, words of power are also very much part of the practice. Sound can move parts of us that movement of parts of us can't quite reach. So from this position, if your legs are crossed and folded, then you can just bring your hands to the floor, roll over the legs, and put one foot flat, the other foot flat, take a hand away, and then the other hand, and come up to standing. So just quickly to go over our standing postures. So hopefully you can see my feet, and they're not together, as in Tadasana, which we find in classical Indian yoga, but the heels are together and the feet are slightly splayed apart. So this is known as Mukut. So Mukut means pyramid. So we're creating a little triangle, symbolizing a pyramid with the feet. When this is open hands, this is just Mukut. Then we have Mukut Heru. So from there we just slowly fold the digits in to make a fist and just bring the thumbs just on the top of the closed fists. Mukut Heru. Staying with our feet at Mukut, our hands now in Mukut Heru. We bring the left hand up towards the right shoulder. We bring the right hand up towards the left shoulder. And we have Asa or Jed. So very often the sarcophaguses and images of the pharaohs, they would have a crook in one hand and a flail in the other. The crook representing self-mastery, and the flail representing self-discipline in spiritual terms. And from Jed, or Asar's pillar, we simply open the arms, turn the palms to face forward. The arms are at about a 30-degree angle from the side body. And we are in Selket. The Selket was a goddess who protected the ancestors. Often her images and statues would be found outside of tombs. And she holds the space and is our connection, our doorway to our ancestral heritage and lineage, the blessings of the ancestors. She's the protector of those ancestors, Selket. And if we just rest our hands down by the side, fingers long, so we're just in open Makut, not Makut Heru. We have Ka, so for Ka we inhale, bring the arms up into this position, sometimes known as cactus. And to come out of this, we turn the palms out to the side and we exhale the arms down. Ka also means spirit. There are 9 parts to the human in Kemetic cosmology. We won't cover all of those in these next 9 or 8 weeks. But Ka is also an important transition pose. So we transition from Makut, which is a closed foot stance, into a more wider open stance. We inhale, putting our weight into the right leg. Come into Ka. We exhale, stepping out. Hands turn outside and we lower them down. And that transitions us into a wider foot stance. And we can use it to transition back into Makut. Inhaling, bring the arms up into Ka, weight in the right leg, and we bring the heel back in, exhaling, arms turn out and come back down to the side. So those are main primary standing postures. We often go into Selket when we are in between transition of each of the Trinity movements. And sometimes we also go into Jed when we are in between moving from one trinity of movements to another trinity. So it's important to just go over these because we'll keep coming back to these particular standing postures as we move through the sequence. But now I'm just going to invite you to enter the flow. So entering the flow really is about our warming up. And we'll begin with the Ankh. So this is basically a way just to lengthen through the spine. Yeah. So we inhale. It's a 2-part inhalation. Our inhalation finishes when our hands are above our head, but we pause for a moment in the inhalation halfway up. So as we inhale, we start turning the palms out, start bringing the arms up to shoulder height, and can continue with the inhalation, making the fingertips just touch at the top, and then rotate, exhale, we come all the way down. When you do this, have a sense of lengthening through the spine. Inhaling again, arms come up, palms turn up. We come and we hold that for a moment, and then we continue inhaling. Fingertips touch, completing the circle. And then we exhale, we come down. This is also symbolizes the union of masculine and feminine. Inhaling again. And continue inhaling. Arms come all the way up, fingertips touch, exhale. And we gently bring the arms down. And now we invite our head to drop down towards the chest. Let the weight bring it down. Chin towards the chest. And we begin gentle neck rotations, very slow. Remember our motto, slow, patient, kind and gentle. So you know your range of movement. far more than I know. So try to stay in the range of relative comfort and ease. Yeah, it's certainly not about striving. And we'll do 9 rotations in one way. We finish the 9th rotation with our chin on the chest. And then we begin 9 rotations in the opposite direction, keeping it nice and slow. We inhale as the head moves up into the center, and then we exhale as the head moving down into the center. Gentle rotations, 9 in total, finishing with the chin on the chest. And the moves, or the forms that we're actually going to learn, the Netaru forms, the full sequence actually tells a story. The story of non-duality, the primordial ocean saying yes to itself and expanding into multiplicity and giving birth simultaneously to duality. It tells the story of the birth of the Netaru, such as Shu, who is needed to separate heaven and earth. And from the birth of Shu, we also move then into the birth of Asar. Asar represents the first of embodied conscious beings who takes his throne, which is our own embodied sovereignty. That symbolizes the first trinity of moves that we are working towards today. When you finished your second round of neck rotations, finish with your chin on the chest. Just take a few natural breathing gestures. Chin's on the chest. And then very slowly we start to weave the head left to right. Chin still on the chest. It's a very gentle movement. Weaving the head left to right, right to left. And then slowly we begin to raise the chin and the head away from the chest, still making the left to right, right to left, weaving movements, raising the head, raising the head. And when it pretty much comes back upright, the head turns into a little bit of a bobble, and we just allow for a natural setting and resting of the head on the occipital ridge. And we just relax there for a moment. So entering the flow, we're going to begin with continue with some gentle shoulder rotations. So bringing the shoulders up towards the ears and then rolling back, closing the shoulder blades. They come down, and as they come forward, we actually crunch them round a little, and then they go back up towards the ears, back, down, curling round, up, back, down, curling round. And we'll just do 6 in this direction. Finish with the shoulders down, with the arms at the side body, nice and straight. And then reverse the movement. So bringing them back, closing the shoulder blades, bring them up towards the ears. Then they curl round as they come down. And just do 6. in this direction. And relax the shoulders down. Very nice. And we're just going to do a car side body stretch. So keeping Makut feet. Inhale the arms up to car. Very good. And then reaching the right hand, keeping the body upright and straight, reaching the right hand through towards the left. You might have to bend the elbow of the left a little. Once the left hand has got hold of the right, then we just gently tilt towards the left side. And release, come back up, back into car, and then doing the opposite with the left hand, reaching through towards the right hand takes hold of the left hand, and we tilt towards the right. We come back up, car position, right goes to left, tilt, take hold, and come back up to righted position, left goes to right, take hold, tilt, and come back into car. One more either side, right reaching towards left hand takes hold of the right, and we tilt and release. Left hand reaching towards the right hand takes hold of left, and we tilt and release. And we turn the palms out, exhale, hands come gently gliding down. Very nice. Just bringing the hands onto the hips. And we'll transition, actually sometimes we can do this either in Makut or we can actually do this with a more wide leg stance. If you want to go for a wide leg stance, inhale into car, put your weight into your right leg, step out, exhale, arms float down, hands onto the hips. And this is a very gentle movement where we just gently fold over and we come back up with a gentle back bend. Show you that side on. We fold over, come up, gentle back bend, bend the knees, fold over, come up, bend the knees, gentle back bend. Put the head back when you go back, drop the head forward when you fall forward. And just find a nice, slow, comfortable, gentle rhythm. And come to the last one. And just stand in, release the hands. Very good. If you have gone into a wide foot stance, again transition through car, bring the weight into one side of the body, bring the arms up, step in, exhale, arms down to the side. And we're just going to turn the toes, big toes in to touch, leaving the heels out and not touching. And we'll bring the hands to the knees. And we just begin with some gentle knee rotations. And then the opposite way. Try and keep the back straight and long. And relax, just standing up. We go back into open makut, so the heels come together, feet come out, and then just bring one foot slightly forward, and we're just going to gently roll over the toes. We make a circular movement, so this is the hip, the knees, the ankle. We're rolling over the toes. The foot might want to walk away from you, and then just go in the opposite direction. Rolling over the toes, and relax, bring that foot back, put the other foot forward, and again roll over the toes in whichever direction feels natural for you to go first. And the other way. And relax, coming back to makut. And we're just going to do some very gentle movements from side to side. And for that, we need to go to a wide leg stance again. So we transition through car, inhaling, bring the arms up, transferring the weight to one side, stepping out with the other, exhaling, arms come down to the side. Relaxed, have a little bend in the knees. Keep the arms nice and loose, and we just twist, twist, twist to the left, twist to the right, keep the arms loose. Arms just start to swing naturally. Looking over the shoulder as you twist, so looking behind you. And then don't just stop this, but slow the twist down and don't twist quite so far each time. So not going quite so far around each time until you come to stop. Arms nice and relaxed, and you're back in the center. Very good. And now we're just going to pay homage to earth and sky. Geb is earth, Nut is sky. So how do we do that? Little bend in the knees. We're going to inhale the arms up, and then we're going to exhale, bend the knees, and just let the arms swing through the legs. And then we inhale, come up, homage to Nut. Exhale, swing through, up, swing through, up. So we're paying homage to Geb, earth, and to sky, Nut. Again, just another little gentle back bend. And on the next one, when you come up, inhale and release the arms down. Very nice. We're going to move towards our first of the trinity of moves. Those who were here last week, you know that we've already done this move. It's a squat, and again, you only need to go as far as is comfortable for you. In a squat, the aim is also to keep the back straight. So we're not bending over, sinking the bottom down. We're keeping the back straight, head in line. So head on straight, back nice and straight. If your ankles, knees or hips don't allow you to get into such a deep squat, that's fine. Again, as long as you keep the back straight, if you come here, that's all good. Yeah? Go as far as is comfortable and in your range of movement. Safety always first. Okay, so for those of you who are ready, this is fairly wide foot stance, as wide as the mat. You can make little adjustments if you need to. We're going to inhale, bringing the arms up out from the sides, bringing the hands together in Sema. Sema is prayer pose. And we're just going to slowly lower down, feet and knees pointing out, coming down into Nun, the primordial ocean, singularity, which is what the hands symbolize. And for those of you who remember, we have a mudra which we release into the Makut mudra. So as we come up, we inhale, we release the little fingers, we release the ring finger, we release the middle finger, and we create Makut. We're almost pretty much standing up now. And then we come into multiplicity, pushing the fingers back, lifting the head up, hips forward, gentle back bend, bend the knees. And then we exhale. When we exhale, we bring the pyramid first back with the thumbs and the index fingers. We're bending back down. Middle finger, ring finger, little finger, back into Sema, singularity. We would normally say Nukpu Nun. I am that primordial ocean. So we inhale, coming up, releasing the fingers one by one. Make the pyramid, release the hands, gentle back bend, and then we come back, making the pyramid, coming down, bringing the fingers back together, Nukpu Nun. Inhale, coming up, separation, and reach, and coming back, multiplicity and duality at the same time. Up, down, right, left. Inhale, coming up, separating, multiplicity, duality, back bend, which is consciousness returning back into itself. And then we're coming back down again into the start position, Nukpu Nun. And from here, we're going to transition straight into Shu. So we make the lotus mudra. So we keep the thumbs and the little things together, but we open the fingertips of all the other fingers, making a lotus. We inhale, we rise up. As we rise up, we separate the hands. They go out to the sides, palms facing up. And we go up onto the toes, separating heaven and earth. And then we release back down, heels back to the floor, lower the arms, not all the way down, just to about there. And then we inhale, we push up onto the toes. Nukpu Shu, we come down. We go up, inhale. Nukpu Shu. Exhale, come down. Inhale, separate heaven and earth. Really push through those arms, push through the toes. And come down onto the heels. Inhale, push up. Exhale, come down. Inhale, push up. Nukpu Shu. I am Shu. I am separating heaven and earth. One more. Inhale, push up. Onto the toes. Exhale, relax. Turn the palms out and lower the arms down to the side body. Beautiful. The third part of the trinity, of the first trinity of movements. Put your feet facing forward now. They were probably out at an angle. Facing forward. Again, about as the outer edge of the feet to the edge of the mat. And we're going to do Asa takes his throne. So the throne is often seen as a set. So she's the support for the ground of being, which is Asa. So she is the support, but it can also be seen the other way. So, because equally a set takes a throne. And at that point, Asa is the throne. So again, for those who are not familiar with the terms I'm using, Asa is Osiris, And our set, or our set, is Isis. So for Asar to take the throne, this is similar to chair pose in classical yoga. So we're going to inhale, and as we inhale, we sit down, we raise the arms up in front of us to shoulder height, we point the hands. We exhale, we come back up to standing, the arms go past the side bodies, we go onto the toes again, we flex the wrists. And then we lower down, we come all the way back down to take the throne. Back long, head on straight, exhale, hands go past the side body, onto the toes, and then we come back down. Asar takes the throne, or Aset takes the throne, depending whether you identify as male or female. And again, up onto the toes, flex the wrists, lower down to the heels, all very slow. Slow, patient, kind and gentle. Very easeful movement. Control as you come to sit. Exhale, control as you go onto the toes, flex the wrists, and you come back to there. Just a couple more. One more, inhale, take your throne, exhale, and then lower the heels, hands rest at the sides. That would be all three moves. And when we complete a trinity, we need to integrate. So to integrate, we inhale, because we're in wide foot stance. We inhale through Ka, come back to Makut, heels together, feet slightly open. And we take the posture of Salket. So we can just open the arms, move the arms slightly away from the body, at 30 degrees, little bend in the elbows, lengthen through the spine, relax the buttocks, palms facing forward. And take 9 of our breaths. So we inhale, we meet the pause, we exhale, we meet the pause, we inhale. If this is a little bit too much for you on the arms, then just relax them down by the sides. Or you could take Jed, rest the arms up here. Or if you're happy, stay in Salket, guardian of the ancestors. The important thing here is to regulate the breath. Meet the pause at the end of the inhalation, meet the pause at the end of the exhalation. And once you've completed 9 rounds, relax the hands down. And just allow for a natural breathing gesture, just simply taking a moment. So we integrate every trinity or triad of moves with a pause in Salket or Jed, or simply in Makut, or Makut Heru with the fists clenched. There are options, whatever works best for you. The important thing is to really come to the breath. So that first part of the story is how singularity or pure conscious presence, the primordial ocean, expresses multiplicity, expands, and multiplicity is born, and within that also duality. But there is a need to separate heaven and earth. So Shu is born, and Shu comes and separates heaven and earth. Because we as embodied consciousness are the bridge between heaven and earth. And as we'll learn, we are Sami Tawi, we are unifying our lower self and our higher self in order to realize our wholeness, our unity, our oneness. And as part of that separating in heaven and earth, the Sa is born and takes the throne. Or Aset is born and takes the throne. The sovereignty of embodied consciousness. So when we move through these sequences, we are beginning to embody this narrative, this understanding, this cosmology of existence. And the story will continue as we learn 3 more trinities, or trinities of postures. And it ends with the triumph of Heru. So that is the triumph of the higher self over the lower self, or one's divine nature over ego, is another way to understand it. So just still integrating where we are and how we've been. So I'm just going to invite you, kind of a closing move that we will come to closer towards the end, but it's a way to get down to the floor. It's also a bit of a balance. So we won't focus too much on the breath, we'll focus on the move. Putting the weight into one leg, so for me I'm putting the weight into my right leg so that I can lift my left foot off the floor slightly. And then I'm going to step slightly forward, drive with the right leg though, drive the knee forward with the right leg. So as you put your left foot out, heel to come to the floor, then the toe, and then slowly lowering yourself down onto the right knee, and then bringing the left knee down, flatten the backs of the feet, and if it's comfortable, dropping down onto the knees, or at that point you can just come to the side, bring the legs round, and again I invite you to, in a comfortable way, come to lie on the back. Again, if you have a bolster or you want something under the backs of your knees to make that more comfortable, then please use that. If you have a blanket and you want to put a blanket over you so that you can stay nice and warm, then also please feel free to use your blanket. So take this moment to come to a comfortable position on the floor. Lay down. You want your feet, again, about 2 foot apart. And this time, rather than having the hands just out from the side body, I invite you to bring the left hand onto the chest, level of the sternum, and the right hand on top of that, bringing the thumbs together. So again, making Merkut. A little pyramid in between the 2 thumbs. Try and keep the shoulders and the upper arms resting on the floor. So you might need to move the hands up or down, depending on the length of your arms, to find a comfortable position. With the Merkut Mudra. So hopefully you'll lay down nice and comfortably, blanket or no blanket, bolster or no bolster. Feet are about 2 foot apart, hands resting on the chest. Mukut. Very often in classical yoga, the hands would be at the side body and we would be in Shavasana, also known as corpse pose. But in Sami Tawi, we acknowledge resurrection. And so this is the resurrection pose. So having been through the processes, holding the postures, embodying the qualities of the Neteru, we're now integrating the Sekhem, which is the life force energy, equivalent to the term prana in classical yoga, Sekhem. And obviously that has been moving more fluidly around us through our movements of the gods and goddesses. And now we want to allow that to really settle and fully integrate. So we adopt this posture of resurrection as we become reinvigorated, vitalized, energized. So come into the breath, gently breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, meeting the momentary pause at the end of the inhalation, end of the exhalation. You maybe like to make the inhalation a little bit deeper, the exhalation a little bit longer, but no straining or striving, staying within the realm of comfort. You breathe in, you breathe out. You breathe in, you meet the pause. You breathe out, you meet the pause. You breathe in, meet the pause. You breathe out and meet the pause. Let the focus of attention simply be on this 4 parts breath. Maybe also noticing a dynamic stillness within, more so than when we first lay down at the start of the session. An aliveness coursing through not just the physical body, but also the energy body. And the subtle body, which is thoughts and emotions, should hopefully seem a little bit more distant, a little quieter. As you breathe in and meet the pause, as you breathe out and meet the pause. And don't worry, I'm still here. When I go silent, it's just to allow for that integration. You have embodied the primordial ocean, Nukpu Nun. You have embodied the Netaru Shu, separator of heaven and earth. Nukpu Shu. You have embodied Asa or Aset, the sovereign embodied consciousness. Nukpu Asa, Nukpu Aset. Releasing the hands so they come down by the sides. Again, sliding one foot up so that the foot can become flat on the floor, the knee pointing up. Slide the other leg so that that foot also comes flat on the floor, knee pointing up, so both knees are just pointing up, both feet are flat on the floor. Gently lifting the buttocks, sliding the hands underneath so that you're now kind of sat on the backs of your hands, palms on the mat. Lift the head up and then raise one leg straight, raise the other leg straight, and using the fulcrum of lowering the legs down together, allow yourself to be brought up into long-legged seated posture. If that's comfortable for you there, that's fine. Otherwise, just come into first sesh pose, cross-legged or easy pose in classical yoga. Again, just feeling how you're feeling. And so we always close the session by just honouring and giving thanks to all the teachers who came before us, those who are the wisdom keepers who developed this science of life. We give thanks to all the forces that enabled us to come together in this way this evening. And we give thanks and recognition through remembrance of our ancestors, those who also paved the way for us to be here today. And we dedicate our practice to the highest benefit of all beings in all times and spaces. May all beings be well. May all beings know peace. And may all beings, not simply of the human kind, but all beings of all kinds, be free from suffering in whatever circumstances they find themselves. Ong Ujab Seneb. Life, prosperity, health. May it be a blessing for all. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So if those who need to go, totally get it. I've kept us to the hour, being as we started about 5 minutes late. 5 minutes later than we were scheduled to start. I've got a moment for any questions or any shares. Feel free to unmute yourself. I'm just asking to unmute just in case I need to do that. for you, and then that way you could unmute if you chose to. Thank you, thank you. I shall just stop the recording as well.